The media often reports that alcohol in moderation is part of a healthy diet. What do you think about alcohol's impact on our health?
Oh, it's so interesting. It's such a story, really. The reason that alcohol is sometimes said to be advantageous is, I think, mostly the heart disease story, because alcohol would increase HDL a little bit. And there are also some phytochemicals in certain, red wine, for example, is fairly high in resveratrol, which is a powerful antioxidant compound, which may be protective. But I think what people need to understand is, number one, we're now recognizing that not all HDL is protective. And so the whole HDL, all of the drugs we use to try to increase HDL have not saved lives in the end. And so that whole piece has come into question. And then the other thing that I think people need to understand is alcohol is a potent toxin to the liver. It can destroy your gut microbiome, which affects every body system we know of. And there is no level of intake above which you will not increase your risk of cancer. So it is a potent carcinogen. In my view, the optimal intake of alcohol is 0. However, that having been said, even the cancer organizations who clearly state it is a potent carcinogen, no safe level of intake, they still suggest not more than 1 serving a day for women, not more than 2 for men. And in my view, that's too much. It's one thing if you're having a small glass of wine occasionally at a special event. It's another if you're drinking every day. And I think it's dangerous. I think it's dangerous to your gut microbiome. I think it's dangerous for your liver. I think it's dangerous for your risk of cancer, especially in women breast cancer, but a variety of cancers it increases risk for. So I think we need to be very, very cautious where alcohol is concerned. I use alcohol for cooking. Sometimes a little bit of white wine in a sauce, for example, but the alcohol gets cooked away. So, and it's just a flavoring, it's a small amount. Other than that, I have to tell you this story because I think it's kind of interesting. The first time I ever got inebriated, I was 11 years old. I was at the home of some Europeans. I was with my parents, and they served us, like everybody else, drinks before dinner, during dinner, and after dinner. And I remember thinking it felt pretty cool. And I started drinking with my friends on the weekends. We'd sneak a little bit of this and that from our parents. And I started getting, by the time I was 14, not liking the person I became when I drank on the weekends. And I can remember, and I can't remember if I was 15 or 16, but it was right in that neighborhood. I think I was 16. I remember one day I walked down to the water. I was sitting by the water's edge on a big rock. It was probably about 6 o'clock in the morning. I've always been a morning person. And I remember thinking about my association with alcohol. And I started thinking about all of my uncles who were alcoholics. I started thinking about my best friend's father, who was an alcoholic. I started thinking about the innocent people who had been killed by alcoholic drivers, about all of the people that destroyed their livers with alcohol. I didn't know a lot about it at that time. And I thought to myself, let's really think about this here. What is your life all about? And I remember thinking, I don't know yet. But what I do know is I want to live a meaningful life, and I want to survive, and I want to make a difference in the world. And I thought to myself, the last thing I need to do is become addicted to anything. And that day I swore off anything I could become addicted to. And that was the last time I really drank any amount of alcohol. Once in a while I'll do a toast and have a sip, but I really don't do alcohol. And I've never had a cup of coffee. I just decided that there's something that I don't like about being addicted to things. And so that was it for me. And I think we need to think about that. Addictions, alcohol is an addictive substance as well. And we need to be thoughtful and conscious when we're really trying to live a meaningful life, especially, which I think most of us are.